morning. We'd like to welcome every one of you to this event. And it's particularly important that, sorry, can you please share your videos? So, sorry. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Share. Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to set my good. Why is this? Okay. Something is wrong somewhere. Share content. Good. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Good Morning BSN. The Good Morning BSN was started May 23rd, 2023, and supported by the Culture Factor and the Change Company in Europe. The program is a free Zoominar aired every Tuesday and morning from about 9:30 a.m. to about 10:08 a.m. Amsterdam time. Good Morning features experienced thought leaders in various business fields, discussing present business challenges, new business management insights, ideas, and tools. Good Morning BSM provides participants with practical tools to improve their abilities across the 4 pillars of leadership, which we at Business School Netherlands believes are very crucial to making a difference in organizations and in our world. Number 1, we do have discussions around responsible leadership, that is striving to become a better person, behaving responsibly towards your colleagues, making your company's and organization thrive by developing sustainable business opportunities to solve the challenges of today's world. We also do have discussions around item 2, change leadership, where you could learn how to inspire your colleagues to be creative and embrace change while giving your organization the power to change and innovate. We also do have opportunities as well on decision-making leadership, which is number 3, where we actually want to be situationally aware, in tune with the science of the times, familiar with latest science technology trends, and equipped with robust analysis of the available data. And we do have performance leadership, which is creating resilient organization with effective operations, sustainable financial results, and a good reputation. Every Tuesday, we expect approximately 75 participants. They are usually people from all walks of life, from corporate, government, non-profit, network, all over the world, but especially from Europe and Africa. We make electronic flyer to promote Good Morning BSN sessions on social media or by invitation. This 44th edition of Good Morning is holding today, and the topic is the resilient leadership for peak performance. And as you see, we have started exactly 9:30 Netherlands time. The Good Morning BSN now has a much more secured, seamless, educative and informative session through the webinar. So if you want to participate, you should share the link that you have for registration. You share with your friends so that they can register and be able to attend every week. Registration is only once, every Tuesday morning. And once you register, registration is only once. The presenter today, who's going to be talking on resilient leadership for peak performance, is Mrs. Hansatu Adegbite, a woman economic empowerment specialist, one who is also the president of BSN Nigeria Alumni, a very great gender consultant, an immediate past executive director of Wimbys. She's an accomplished and visionary leader with extensive experience leading and managing teams, particularly within the nonprofit organization. With a very solid background in fundraising, budget management, program oversight, she excelled in motivating high-performing teams. Effective interpersonal skills and very powerful emotional intelligence, communication skills has enabled her to engage with various stakeholders across both private and public sectors. She's very passionate about women's economic empowerment, exhibits a robust entrepreneurial spirit. Her extensive career includes service on numerous national and international committees, councils and boards, including 2 Nigeria presidential committees and various United Nations women committees. She has built a vast network of influential stakeholders across both the private and public sectors. She's committed to gender equity, women in leadership, mentoring, and she has made significant contribution to her skills in conferences, events, strategic planning, strategic partnership, and has effectively managed successful initiative transitions. Our major mission in life is to inspire, impact, and invest in people's lives. And as an energetic leader and team builder, she's dedicated to mentoring, training across both traditional and digital media platforms. Her expertise in program implementation and coordination, and indeed her passion for strategic alliances, have driven many executive and board management transitions and change management processes. With over 2 decades in nonprofit leadership, she has shown exceptional and outstanding skills in strategic planning, alliance formation, and she's passionate about women economic empowerment and driven to inspire and invest in life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mrs. Hansatu Adegbite.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bale.
Thank you. Before you speak, let me quickly introduce the reflector for today so that we can have a seamless transition from you to the reflector. The reflector today is another mentor to me with over 2 decades of leadership in business strategy and human resources space. He has honed his expertise in fostering employee engagement, enhancing organizational effectiveness, building high performance teams across diverse industry. His major journey in HR has been marked by relentless pursuit of excellence, driving operational growth, spearheading strategic initiatives, and has also succeeded in cultivating robust support mechanisms that constantly exceed organizational goals. Currently, he has actually immersed himself in research projects around artificial intelligence and employee engagement. He's exploring the transformative potential of AI to revolutionize how organizations approach employee engagement. And so it's not just for academic pursuit, but also a mission to bridge the gap between theory and practice, aiming to devise innovative strategies that will leverage AI to foster a much more engaging, dynamic, and productive workplace environment. His work navigates the integrated pathways of integrating AI within the fabric of HR. Let us join him on this journey as he unlocks the potential of AI in reshaping the landscape of HR and propelling organizations towards unprecedented levels of engagement and effectiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we welcome Olusheye Taiwo Adepoju? Please show your face. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so glad to have you, all of you today. My own name is Larry Bale, and I'll be moderating this program. I would like to hand over to Mrs. Hansatu Adegbite to start our presentation, which is just for 15 minutes. Thank you. Over to you, Hansi.
Thank you, Dr. Bale, and thank you, everybody, for joining this early morning. I think one of the things they forgot to say is that I am not just a BSN alumni, but we are OTA 3 with Taiwo. I'm always so proud of that because majority of us were, the first 3 sets in Nigeria. I also want to thank everybody once again for joining. And I think when it comes to resilient leadership for peak performance, I always say that I am a CEO, but I am a chief energy officer. And for those of you that know me, you know that energy is one of the things that I am known for. And so I do believe that once you have resilient leaders, obviously, you must have leaders that are resilient and that are always seeking and thinking about new ways to lead, which is so important. The way the world is now, let me just move this up, sorry. The way the world is now, I do identify that a resilient leadership has become a strategic and a very essential need for the future. In a Forbes research that was just done in 2023, they did identify that irrespective of the fact that people identify resilience in leadership as very important, only about 25% of executive leaders worldwide actually focus on leading with resilience and also leading resilient organizations. And of course, when we look at resilience, or whether it's resilience as a word, before we even go into leadership, resilience in itself is capacity, having that capacity to be able to withstand first and then to recover quickly from difficulties and anything that is tough within the situation that we find ourselves. And I must admit, and I believe everybody will agree with me, that we are definitely in a dispensation where a lot of economic challenges, political challenges, global challenges have really caused so many people to be discouraged, just generally. And it calls for resilient leadership. And even in my journey as a leader over the past, would I say, 17 to 20 years, and in my recent position, I have been faced with various circumstances that has required a lot of resilience, which I will just mention one or two before I conclude. But again, looking at what is really on our screen right now, it's really about seeing a new, insight, foresight, hindsight. That is really what it is. So when you are talking about a new way of seeing, it's not just with the physical eyes, but you must have that insight and foresight on things that are currently major issues. Your way of thinking must be different. A lot of creativity, innovation, flexibility is needed. And then in leading, you also have to be able to influence and build trust. We all see what is happening in our nation, like in Nigeria now. One of the things that you have is high trust deficit. And so once that trust deficit is there, no matter what you are doing, nobody will see anything that is good in it. And you rarely find people that will follow you wholeheartedly and see that turn around. And so resilient leaders lead with calmness, clarity, conviction above all things, because when nobody else is seeing what you are seeing it and moving forward, and you're accelerating with a type of speed that others don't see. You are solving complex problems, but not as an individual. You are influencing a team to solve those problems with you. And then you lead with strength. No matter how down you also are, you need to find strength. You need to be emotionally sound. You need to avoid burnout, because burnout obviously has its disadvantages. You need to be spiritually, will I say, balanced. And then physically, you must be at the top of your game. And sorry, I'm just trying to. Okay. And one of the most perfect examples I have of resilient leadership in recent times is 7-Up Bottling Company. Obviously, for those of us in Nigeria, when you think of 7-Up, 7-Up really was just about providing carbonated drinks, whether it's the 7-Up, Pepsi, Mirinda, and the rest. And so in 2020, COVID arose. And here were so many organizations nationwide that had closed down. A lot of people were laying off. A lot of companies did not even find any profit that year. And within the context of a manufacturing firm, nobody during COVID was thinking of taking mineral, but yet they had the machinery, they had the distribution network, and they had everything that it needed to pivot. But it took a resilient leader to look beyond nobody is drinking 7-Up at this time, to think of that same structure that is on ground, that same plant. What he was able to do, the current CEO obviously, was that he used everything at his disposal to just change the liquid. That's all they did. Using carbonated drinks, they just changed it to sanitizer, looking at what was the top need in the nation then. And of course, because they had the distribution network, the capacity and the rest, Too Sure overnight became the leading hand sanitizer brand in Nigeria. And then COVID came and passed. And so you would have thought that, oh, that is the death of hand sanitizers. From carbonated drinks, before you know it, Too Sure went into all manner of products. And because of that, they are not just afloat now, but they are still exceeding in their numbers when it comes to profitability. And so this is just a perfect example of what resilient leadership can do amidst all manner of discouraging situations. And so when you look at resilient leadership, and when I look at even my own journey, you must be adaptive and flexible. And one of the things that helped us as an organization was that long before COVID started, we had started thinking. I recall I was interviewing for a role, one of the staff, and she came for a different thing. And when I looked at her background, I saw that she was full of ICT capacity. And I just told her, why not? Even though that was not the rule, we did employ her as an ICT person, as if we had, that foresight, as if I had known. This was like 3 or 4 years before COVID kicked off. And so because we had that person on ground, we already had an ICT plan. So by the time COVID came, we already had a business continuity plan. And I think that is the same thing that has to happen in this dispensation. A lot of things are not working. And so what you now have to look at is, even if these things are not working, what can I do to pivot? What type of collaborations and partnerships will work? Thinking of resourcefulness, creativity, innovation, you need to have robust plans and teams and just mindset. Be inclusive, be collaborative. It will surprise you that some of the victories that I'm being celebrated for, some of those things come from suggestions from the least expected team member. So have that inclusive approach to things, and just be aware of what is happening within our environment. Be very reflective and be diverse. So as a leader, your strategy, yes, we do usually have strategies, but again, you need to look at things within context. You need to look at things within it. So for example, a lot of us have planned certain things. Some have even planned conferences. When you did your budget last year, and when we came into this year, before we knew it, all the places that we had worked on budgets for had, of course, tripled or doubled the prices. And so now people have to start thinking of ways to address some of those things. Change management is consistent. Strategies around that, you must be prepared, you must manage risk. And above all, there must be a cultural and behavioral change. A lot of us have seen it in our personal lives. There are a lot of things that before we used to do, but now people are, in fact, just yesterday, people are making adjustments. I had a friend that said that, oh, his very good friend that is a nightclub owner was complaining that now his nightclub is empty almost every week. And it is because now people have started focusing on opportunity cost. DSTV is having a run for its money with Netflix and things like that. They've just come and just disrupted that entertainment system. So people are even thinking, oh, I may as well just subscribe to Netflix as against going out to spend this and that just so that you save money. So all of us as leaders, we need to start to think outside the box. There are certain things that we never thought before were possible, but it will just surprise you that even the consumers today have become very, very unfaithful when it comes to consumer loyalty. Nobody is loyal again. Everybody is just looking for what is an improved or an easier or faster or cheaper way of doing things. So we must begin to look around such things for ourselves. And I would just say that when I look at resilience and some of the traits that have worked for me, it aligns with this. I have learned to identify top stressors to avoid them, calming mechanisms, coping mechanisms, identify key relationships that are strategic that can help you, strengthen you, and also connect you. You need your connectors and the rest. Self-care is critical. You must focus on the things that are working. Accept that you can't solve all things, but the things that you need to solve them excellently well, so that it will not be, your input cannot be denied. Be a problem solver. Face fears head on. One of the things that has helped me over the years is that I don't see problems, I see opportunities. I don't believe in failures or regrets or have regrets for failures. I only see what has not worked. I pick the lessons, I dust myself, I stand up, and I keep moving. You must manage your thought process, your feelings, your emotions. Anything in this season that adds to joy and makes you happy, you need to invest in it. Don't focus from morning till night on all the news that is out there. No matter what you do, you must balance it and keep your mind sound. Do not be stuck in those ruts. You must identify new ways of doing things. And so, as I conclude, I will say that for me as a resilient leader, this is what has worked for me over time. Sorry, trying to bring this down. I always play to strengths, not just my strengths, but even the strengths of my team members. I manage weaknesses. In fact, sometimes I downplay them and ignore them because they're not relevant. People can work on them. Leverage on opportunities. A lot of people are saying now there's no money, but ironically, there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of funding. You just have to leverage on what type of opportunity you identify where there seems to be nothing, and then quickly address all threats, because there are plenty. So thank you very much. And I'm just conscious of time, so I hope I wasn't too fast for us, but I will just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hansatu. You actually saved us additional 3 minutes, and you had a very powerful presentation. Thank you so much. Very impactful. I have no doubt in my mind about it. We now go ahead to ask Mr. Oluseye Adegbite to please reflect on this just for 5 minutes, strictly 5 minutes. Over to you, Oluseye. These slides will be available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. And Ansi, that was really, spot on. And I must say, you just put it all out, and in that short time. And I hope that we're able to gain or gather some insights from it. And it's just aligning with those thoughts. It's clear that leadership dynamics and even thoughts around leadership progresses elaborately over the years. You have over 250,000 publications or articles on leadership. And so it keeps progressing because there's a different point of view at every point in time. Now, one of the things that you said that immediately struck my attention was around the adaptability of the resilient leader. And in the times that we're in, based on the dynamism, the undulating nature. In fact, some of this, VUCA as it is, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, it calls for us to start to move beyond just speed, okay, to being, not just being agile, to also now progress, to also being adaptable. And I usually two creatures, okay, so the chameleon and the octopus. And that, these animals, almost like a philosopher would say, go to the ants or ye sluggard, is akin to giving us insights on how to play, particularly at this time. So you talked about changing trends. Trends are changing. So how prepared are we, for the changes that are set to take over, our economy, the world as it is at a global stage? So I'm an AI enthusiast, and as I started to play around AI in HR, I started to ask myself, what will change? Some of the common things that I've realized is that AI will not replace people's jobs. Rather, it will be the people that cannot use AI that will be replaced, okay, by those that can use AI. So it's also about being futuristic, forward-looking. You talked about strengths. As a Gallup strengths coach, one of the things I love about that is, play to your strengths. So we all have individual strengths. As a resilient leader, driving for peak performance, you must clearly be consciously aware of yourself, aware of your environment, and that's the only way you can bring about total transformation. That's the only way you can even lead effectively. When you are consciously aware, emotionally immature, to the point where you can take things and be able to interpret. So I usually have this process. So it's almost like you observe, you interpret, and then intervene. Well, in closing with my reflections, it's about that bit where you start to espouse on the need for spiritual quotient. You started to talk about mental sagacity. You started to talk about this emotional bit. To be able to just look inwardly, observing critically, and then intervening. And I think somehow our takeaway from this is that as we go, in our respective fields, we just must now begin to see ourselves bouncing back at every point in time and be forward-looking. So don't react, okay? Respond. I think that captures my reflections on this. Mr. Moderator, over to you, sir. And thank you, Ansi, for setting us on that trajectory.
Thank you so much, Ulisha. Wonderful presentation, beautiful reflection. We're now going to question and answer session. We want you to put your questions on can put it in the chat room, and we'll be in the Q&A, anyone you like. I'll be in the position to read out these questions. Let me roll out the question by asking. First from Hansatu Adegbite. When you say the CEO is the Chief Energy Officer, what are the roles, particularly in a period that requires resilience like this, of the CEO in building physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual energy of subordinates, particularly the need to replicate resilience in those same people? It's not just enough for the CEO to be the resilient person. How do we replicate it in our subordinates? Sorry, you are muted. You've got to unmute.
In fact, I just realized that. Thank you so much.
All right.
So first of all, I will say that as a leader, you must focus on developing some emotional intelligence skills, because you must be sensitive and empathetic. A lot of us want to just deliver on things, but we must also understand that the team itself most of them are going through things. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is that you draw a lot of energy from those around you. So you must surround yourself with other leaders that can help to build your own resilience. And so it is what that you have that you pour out to others. You must also take in the kind of information that builds resilience. So I would say that the amount of things that you spend your energy on is very critical. I will give an example, obviously, with myself. Sometimes when the numbers are down, we are faced with all manner of impossibility. What I do is very simple. I call the team members in. Surprisingly, I tell them, you see this particular situation, it will require God, but it will also require effort. And we pray. And after praying, we begin to think. Everybody begins to contribute. Everybody feels their voices are heard. And I make sure that at the end of the day, we try different solutions. We learn from the ones that work. We learn from the ones that don't work. But I think that also builds some level of confidence in team members. When it comes to also keeping your spirituality and your physical aspect of your life well, and I'm sure Taiwo can relate to this, a time comes when you have to take some health and wellness decision. Anything that will spike up your energy. whether it's exercise, the kinds of food, whatever it is that energizes you, you also have to focus on it. So those are some of the things I would want to pinpoint at this time. And I think Taiwo too may have one or two if he wants to add.
Okay, Taiwo.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Auntie. You led it on. So things around the social. So we talked around emotional intelligence. There's also the need around social awareness, social intelligence. Okay. And when this is created, in a way that you have that deep understanding beyond just yourself, you are easily able to relate with others, okay? Irrespective of the personality test you've done, irrespective of those understand, even if you've not done a personality test, can you at least just be aware as to, oh, this is what this person likes, this is what this person doesn't like. Now, I also would just want to say a common denominator in this process of, this leading high-performing things will be trust, okay? So, and trust is a denominator that drives this. A lot of people miss it, where they jettison trust and want to go for team bonding, or they want to go for accountability, or they want to achieve results. If you look at the normal pyramid as to leading effective teams, the key denominator is to build trust, even in relationships, at work. And that's the first way, okay, before we can, that's the first thing we need to do in leading highly effective teams. I think that just, will be my insights into this. Mr. Moderator, I see you're currently not on. Yes. Ansi.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm
okay.
here. I'm here.
Great,
Thank you.
Great.
Back to Ansi. What avenue do you personally have for mentoring female CEO leaders?
Wow, thank you so much for that. There are quite a lot of them. I do know, obviously, Women in Management, Business and Public Service has, I must mention it, has mentoring programs for senior executive, board level executives, as well as normal women. But I also would say that even Business School Netherlands, alumni, one of the things we must leverage on is our network, our internal network. We have people from all sectors. And a lot of things that I tend to push for is that even within your organization, begin to set up mentoring programs. And I do hope that the alumni bodies worldwide for BSN will also focus on mentoring sessions. Even for us as executives, we continually need to be mentored in various areas that we may not have the capacity to, because we're evolving every day. So for me, identify the networks around you that can add and build capacity in that regard.
Thank you so much. There's a question on what does BSN have for CEOs on team building effective business structure. We have various master classes or short courses under the executive education program that can be used to raise people's skills on team building, structure, culture. We have the basic leadership program. We have the middle level leadership program. We have the senior leadership program. We have the advanced leadership program. And we have various other functional, operational related courses, master classes. If you would contact us, we'll be very glad to share the details with you, certainly. Before we close today, it's important for us to know there's last two questions. How does this play a role on the leadership trust being a talker and a doer? How does resilience, how does this play a role as a CEO track, being a thinker, talker, and doer? Hansatu.
Well, I think one of the things that you must first be is that you must be true to yourself. Very important as CEOs. We must identify what we can and cannot do. For the things you can do, as I said earlier, do them excellently well. For the things that you cannot do, leverage on other people's skills. You must also understand that there are individual factors, there are the work unit factors, there's the organizational factor, and the community or national factors in everything that you do. And so you must be able to understand per time the value that you can add or where you can draw strength from within each of these buckets, as I've mentioned. There are times that you set, of course, your targets, have productivity expectations, ensure that your team structure, sometimes it's about even changing team structure so that you achieve what you need to achieve per time, decision making. So, for example, a lot of us here may want to see people every day at work, but I had to look at certain factors, for example, of what was going on in the nation. Fuel had increased, we hadn't increased salaries, so many things were going up. The cost of living has tripled or quadrupled. And so there are certain things we need to now adapt to be flexible. So instead of me to be a talker and I'm expecting everybody to deliver, I had to make adjustments in the structure, working structure, even within the office. Change the collapse to that daily thing, started getting people to come at different times and so on and so forth. And before you knew it, people felt a bit refreshed that now they can work at home. They're not thinking about fuel. They're not thinking about getting to the office and things like that. And we are performing excellently well. In fact, there are some months that people work virtually at home for almost the whole month, and then I still deliver without any obvious deficit of any kind. So that you must be self-aware, and that's what I would say, and continue to learn from what has worked with others, and use it to improve what will work for you. So I think there must be behavioral changes, flexibility, and adaptability. Those are some of the things I would just want to project once again.
Thank you so much. We just have 1 minute to close. So I would like to thank the facilitator, the presenter for today, the speaker for today, Mr. Hansatu Adegbite and Mr. Oluseyi Adepoju, for very wonderful presentation and reflection. We have another session next on Tuesday, next coming Tuesday, on responsible leadership. The title is on the benefits of clear-minded leadership. And we are going to have, the presenter is going to be Hans van Buthen, and the reflector will be Guus Goris. The moderator will be Toyin van Ivel Dean, and it's starting exactly same time, 8:30. And it is important for all of us to ensure that we all have opportunity to attend. We want to thank every single one of you who have taken time to be here today. Let the speaker as well as the reflector please stay, along with a number of other people, and others can leave now. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Please, before you go, I've also shared the registration link on the chat room. Try to copy that registration link and send it to your friends so that they can register. And it is that registration link that will give them their own identity. If you send the response to you on your registration to another person, you will appear twice. Those people will not have their own individual identity. So thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you, Elsie, for your wonderful presentation.
we are learning from you, Dr. Bane. Our professor.
You have presented with all kinds of, with full energy, physical, emotional, mental, social, spiritual, you have put all the energies there with a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm so impressed. And I'm so happy when presentations come in this way, can be very, very inspiring for many of us who are perpetual learners. So nice to have you.
Thank you so much.
So somebody has asked for your contact. Instead of sending your contact to him or her, I just sent your LinkedIn profile. A link, so the person will be able to reach you through that route.
Thank you.
Yeah. I also believe that we are beginning to make some. Good morning, Juanita. Okay, it's Asha. Anyway, maybe it's okay. It's only connected to us on. It's only connected on audio. Yeah. Okay. We have, from what you've seen, a large number of people are increasingly interested in advertising their products. I've seen some people have placed their link to their websites on the chat rooms. So we might be introducing an opportunity for people to show their company or products adverts during the Q&A session, which is usually about 5 to 8 minutes, and that might provide opportunity for people to get to know their products. And that might also be opportunity for this group to raise funds for increased awareness and boost the access to this same Good Morning BSN to more countries. So otherwise, what's your perception of your presentation? Hansatu.
Well, honestly, I think it is if I may say, a relevant topic at this time.
Yes.
Because really, a lot of people need, even for their personal selves, apart from even their organizations, to just have that resilient mindset. So that for me is one area. It's just unfortunate. Obviously, the time is short, because when you look at resilience, there are so many elements to it.
That's
again, also,
like I did mention to you, we normally send copies of this to attendees, so you can put all your full slides together.
Okay, the full one can now.
Yes, but your presentation is best for it to just use the basics.
Okay.
So I mean, so that you can present within 15 minutes. That was why I advised you. So, and I think you made it. It worked. You actually saved 3 minutes, which is very good. So, can we hear your reflector, Olusheye?
Okay, sir.
How do you assess the program, your feelings about the program, your own presentation? So,
okay, so at first I must say thank you for having me on set, and then much more was the fact that I have a good forerunner, so I just literally latched on to energy. But I think this is a good platform. And honestly, I'm attending this for the first time because I always mix up the time. But because I became consciously aware with your repeated messages, and this is so I think, and it also just becomes a platform to further share, to also democratize whatever BSN is doing. And I think this is very, very instructive and valid at this time. So the topic is relevant. It's even, and I just love, so I hear you're talking about responsive leadership next week. It's that leadership, just becomes one of the things that is the bane of our economy, of our society. And I say, look, well done, sir. Now you are a leader now. You are the leader. You now call us mentor. Okay, don't be doing that kind of thing. I will shout next time. We're your mentees.
You are mentoring me on many things. You are mentoring me now on artificial intelligence. You have mentored me very well on strength-based. I mean, you are one of the very few. When you finished, you focus very much on psychometrics. And psychometrics is supposed to be an area of great interest to me as well. So when I say you mentor me, you do it. And the way you have raised women empowerment, you are highly focused on women empowerment across Africa. And I noticed that. I don't know, but I knew that you would have worked extensively with Hansatu when she was in Wimbis. But it was a very big opportunity.
We had a moment.
that was an area that you focused on, which I thought was very timely and very useful. once we develop the second half of our population, our economy will multiply multiple fold. The burden of responsibility in the family can now be shared, and economically, so it's just like I think we are wasting one half of our resources if we do not maximize their energies and their potentials. So, and that's what has affected me and my understanding of what a woman's role is at home. So, thank you so much, and we are really grateful. Thanks for. We look forward to seeing you. And if you would like to speak, that's Adegbite. If you would like to speak, we would love to have a topic around any area of those 4 areas, and I can look at dates that are free for you. I will fix it, and then you can also choose your reflector. Is Ansi who actually chose you. Of course, Ansi is particularly biased in favor of set 3. Anything is set 3. So, and I was sure I wasn't really surprised when he told me that it's going to be Adegbite will come. Not just in favor of set 3, but also in favor of those who stay and live in Abuja. So.
But Dr. Bale, can you see it has brought him out? Tomorrow he will attend. No, in fact, we need to start bringing out these silent people.
And that's what we want to do. We want to bring as many as possible on, and we have to showcase our talents. We have very great talents who are able to inspire the next generation of leaders, and who are able to. And you can see attendance today is about the highest we've recorded. We had peak attendance at 88, which means that total number of people who attended will be in excess of 90. And if you look at what I announced, I said we are usually about 75. So it's a significant improvement. So the more we come up with the right kind of titles, topics, the better for us. Thank you so much.